The observation deck of Outpost K-47 overlooked a landscape no sane species would willingly settle on. Jagged black stone jutted from the ground like broken teeth. Acidic rain fell in intermittent sheets, sizzling faintly as it struck the rocks. The sky was a permanent bruise-colored swirl of clouds, threaded with distant lightning. Even through reinforced glass, the planet below radiated hostility. "This is absurd," Commander Vrex clicked, his chitinous mandibles flexing with irritation. "Deathworld training on Cartier Prime? The Galactic Council has finally lost what little sense it had." Around him, representatives of a dozen species stood in agreement, or the closest thing their anatomies allowed. Scaled tails lashed. Feathers puffed. Translucent frills flushed warning colors. Only one figure seemed unconcerned. Lieutenant Mara Kincaid sat on a bench near the viewport, boots propped on a crate, chewing steadily on what looked like a protein bar. She watched the stormy world below with mild interest, like someone evaluating hiking weather. Vrex noticed her and scoffed. "Humans can't handle a death world," he said loudly, his translator projecting his disdain clearly. "Your species evolved on a Class 4 garden planet. Mild gravity, stable climate, predictable seasons. This place will break you within days." Mara didn't answer. She just kept chewing. The arrival. The drop shuttle shook violently as it pierced Cartier Prime's atmosphere. Warning lights flickered. Alarms blared in half a dozen alien languages. Several trainees panicked. One of the avian Nyrelians screamed as turbulence slammed them sideways. A gelatinous Ploxy trainee began to destabilize, their form wobbling dangerously. Even Vrex braced himself, claws digging into the restraint harness. Mara tightened her straps and leaned back. "Bit bumpy," she muttered. "I've had worse flights over the Rockies." The shuttle slammed into the ground with bone-rattling force. Dust and acidic steam engulfed the viewports. When the doors finally hissed open, a wave of heat and chemical stench rolled inside. The instructor, a massive armored Krovan named Threx, stepped out first. "Welcome to Cartier Prime," Threx roared. "Survival training begins now. You will be here for 14 standard days. No external support. Limited supplies. This planet will try to kill you." Thunder cracked overhead, punctuating his words. "Good luck." Day 1. Reality sets in. Within hours, the planet claimed its first victim. A scaled reptilian trainee collapsed from metabolic shock after ingesting native water without proper neutralization. Medivac drones whisked them away in a blur of lights. The message was clear. Cartier Prime did not forgive mistakes. The group scrambled to establish shelter before nightfall. Acid rain intensified, forcing them to seek cover beneath a rocky overhang. The ground trembled periodically, seismic instability, the instructors had warned. Vrex struggled with the terrain. His species favored stable, structured environments. Every step here was treacherous. Meanwhile, Mara was busy. She hammered together a reinforced shelter frame using scavenged alloy plates from a supply crate. She sealed seams with emergency polymer. She rigged a simple drainage system for acidic runoff. "How?" Vrex demanded, watching her work. "Are you functioning so efficiently?" Mara shrugged. "Camping. Earth-style." "This is not camping," Vrex snapped. "This is a hostile planetary ecosystem actively attempting your extermination." "Yeah," she said. So was Australia. Day 3. Hunger. Food became a problem faster than expected. Rations were designed to last only 5 days if strictly portioned. After that, trainees were expected to supplement using native resources if possible. Most species couldn't. Cartier Prime's flora was toxic, its fauna aggressive and chemically defended. One trainee lost an arm to a burrowing ambush predator before learning that lesson. Mara crouched near a steaming fissure, carefully skewering a small, many-legged creature that had wandered too close. Vrex stared in horror. That organism exudes neurotoxic vapor. Only when threatened, Mara replied, and only at close range. Cook it long enough, toxins break down. She roasted it over a vent, turning it slowly. Then she ate it. Vrex's mandibles clacked in disbelief. You didn't even test it. Mara chewed, swallowed, then nodded. Tastes like crab if crab hated you. She tossed him a strip. Protein's protein. He recoiled. Absolutely not. She shrugged and kept eating. Day 5, the storm. The electromagnetic storm hit without warning. Winds howled at hurricane strength. Lightning slammed into the ground repeatedly, turning stone into molten glass. The sky glowed an unnatural green as charged particles ripped through the atmosphere. Shelters failed. One by one, structures collapsed under the onslaught. Panic spread. Mara grabbed a tether line and clipped it to a rock formation. Anchor yourselves. Low profile. Don't fight the wind. Vrex hesitated, then followed her instructions. When the storm finally passed, 3 more trainees were gone. Medevac beacons blinked silently where they'd fallen. Mara emerged battered but alive, hair singed, face smeared with grime. She popped the last piece of her protein bar into her mouth and chewed. Vrex stared at her with something dangerously close to awe. Day 7. The Predator. They heard it before they saw it. A deep, resonant thrum that vibrated through bone and stone alike. The apex predator of Cartier Prime rose from beneath the ground, a towering, armored behemoth with crystalline claws and a maw lined with rotating teeth. The trainees scattered. Weapons barely slowed it. Vrex froze, instinct screaming. Mara didn't. She grabbed a seismic charge from her pack, sprinted toward a fissure, and hurled the device into the creature's path. Hey, she shouted. Overgrown rhinoceros. The beast lunged. The ground exploded. The predator vanished into the collapsing earth with a deafening roar. Mara hit the dirt, rolled, and came up coughing but alive. Silence fell. Vrex looked at her, mandibles trembling. You charged it. Didn't have much choice, she said. Also, it was in my way. She sat down and started chewing on something again. Day 10, the question. That night, beneath a flickering aurora of radiation and dust, Vrex finally asked. Why? He said quietly. Why does your species endure this? You shouldn't be capable of surviving here, and yet you thrive. Mara considered that. She looked up at the hostile sky, at the cracked ground, at the scars on her hands. Earth isn't gentle, she said. Not really. We just like to pretend it is. But our planet floods, burns, freezes, shakes, poisons, and starves us. It throws rocks from space and microbes from nowhere. She smiled faintly. And we didn't beat it. We adapted. We learned. We got stubborn. Vrex processed this in silence. So when you face a death world, he said slowly. Mara finished the thought. It's just another Tuesday. Day 14, extraction. When the dropships returned, only 6 trainees remained. Mara Kincaid stood at the center of them, scratched, exhausted, and very much alive. The instructors stared. Commander Threx reviewed the data in stunned silence. Human trainee, he said. You exceeded survival benchmarks by 300%. Vrex stepped forward. Commander, I formally request the Council amend its classification. Threx tilted his armored head. Amend it how? Vrex looked at Mara, who was, of course, eating something.